Like any other system of management, straw yards must aim at maintaining clean and comfortable cows with minimum labour. The economic use of straw is important, naturally, but perhaps the most important factor, if the benefits of this system over the cowshed are to be achieved, is that the milking parlour, cow yard, and storage of all bulk food and bedding must be planned as one unit. See, for instance, how these buildings are grouped. First, a distinctly separate bedded area. Remembering that this is where cows should rest, not feed and drink, it must be quite separate from the feeding area. The milking parlour is placed so that there is continuity to the circulation of cows. Bedded area to feeding area to collecting area, into the parlour, and back again to the bedded area. A cattle crush is located here, entered from the parlour. The parlour also has a summer exit, incorporating a footbath. The aim is one of minimum movement, and the same applies in siting straw and food stores. Straw is stored near the bedded area or in the barn, and bulk food in the barn near the feeding area. Concentrates are stored in bulk in the loft over the parlour, next to which is the dairy. Only by planning an integrated layout in this way can you achieve a really satisfactory work routine. Well, having seen the overall plan, let's take a separate look at the various sections. The bedded area should provide about 50 square feet per cow, clear of obstructions, and the floor should be of some pervious material like rammed hardcore, chalk or clinker. The surrounding walls must be strong enough to withstand the pressure of an accumulated dung pack plus the weight of the cows. In this type of layout, it is essential to have a partition between the bedded and feeding areas to control the cows at feeding time. It also helps to prevent drafts. But let the partition be in portable materials. In this case, stressed plywood panels have been used. The feeding area is placed adjacent to the bedded area, food store and milking parlour. It forms part of the collecting area at milking time, thus reducing costs. For ease in mechanical cleaning, as we shall see later, dead ends have been avoided. The dungstead can be seen in the background. The mangers are placed a minimum of 16 feet apart, the overall width of the area, including mangers, being 22 feet. Drinking water should be sited here in the feeding area, not in the bedded or collecting areas. Drinking troughs placed in the collecting area would obstruct milking routine. The feeding mangers need not be costly or elaborate. Their construction should be simplified as far as possible to make them easy to fill and clean out. At this farm, the cows feed from the floor through a simple barrier. So much for the layout and fixtures. What about management? First, straw for the bedding. It is essential to be dry straw. Sawdust, wood shavings, or even bracken may be used instead. Each of these wood per cow are being put down to begin with. Daily littering at the rate of 14 bales a day for 150 days will use tons, that is, about 42 tons for the season. It's important to prevent the rising dung pack from the feeding area, so retaining barriers are placed across the openings. The concrete in the feeding area must be cleaned up daily. This may be done in various ways. Here you see an improvised method. The straw bale will be replaced by a scraper blade made for the purpose. By way of contrast, let's see what happens when things are not planned properly. A narrow bedded area, full of obstructing stanchions, and with a water trough halfway down one side. A place of congestion with rapidly deteriorating bedding. Inadequate retaining barriers allow the bedding to spill out into the yard. Here, as well as in the collecting area and the feeding area, there is no proper drainage. access for machinery is difficult, making a heavy labour problem for cleaning out. A badly surfaced and undrained feeding area complete a setup which can only lead to dirty cows, like these. An unhappy looking bunch, quite different from the herd on the farm we have been looking at earlier in this film. Remember, if a yard and parlour system is to function efficiently, it must have a good work routine. Carefully planned buildings are an essential part of the operation. This means having the milking parlour, the cow yard, and all bedding and bulk food in one integrated unit. The result? Clean and contented cows.